with Michael Martinez at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Honors Weekend, getting inducted with the Medal of Courage for the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. You received this award on the state level in Colorado a year or two ago, and now the national office has decided that they'd like to recognize you as well. What are your thoughts about that? I know, it's something that it recognizes you for something besides just what you did as an athlete, right? What were your thoughts when they told you that they wanted you to come and be part of this weekend?
Well, my first thought was there's a lot of people, Mr. McLaughlin is one of them, a lot of military people that I look up to, highly look up to. And so my first thought was, what about these guys? And I think I know that they look at those people often, and I was very honored that they asked me, given there's some outstanding people in this country that were involved in the sport of wrestling. So.
And as part of this, people are going to ask you about your recovery from your fire burns and things like that. I mean, what's it like for you to explain that, or to, understand that because of your ability to, bounce back from a real tough situation, that people, are very, very respectful and want to hear about the story a little bit. You'll be hearing about it again this weekend. What do you tell people when they ask you about that process of recovery?
I tell them the truth. You can't hide from it. I'd rather they ask than not ask.
Right.
And so I just tell them what happened usually and how it happened if they're interested. And a lot of times they'll ask about the recovery, and I'll tell them it's how it feels. It feels different, but it is what it is, and we keep moving forward. And I got a good wife and good kids, and I'm happy to be alive. So I'm living life. So.
Obviously, wrestling's a big part of your life, and I mean, do you see some of the things you might have learned through the process of being a wrestler that was helpful when you did have to spend all that time getting healthy?
Yeah, yes. Like I was telling those guys, my dad taught us how to wrestle at a young age, how to overcome struggles. We had no choice, really. And so I was lucky to have a lot of people that kept me moving forward in that direction as far as the sport of wrestling goes. And it helped me in that situation a great deal, I think, to become someone who can grit their teeth and kind of know what to expect from both ends of things, but I mean, you never know what God's got in store for us. Right. So we'll take it as it comes and live life as the best way we can. So
you help out with wrestling in your community still? I mean, give a little bit back to the sport and the kids in your area?
I try, yeah. You'd have to ask them that, but I think I do. Yeah, I run a club out of that Four Corners area now, and so I'll help anybody that asks. They come in, if they want to learn how to wrestle, we'll teach them. I just make sure they have insurance. So.
You've had some good mentors. I mean, obviously growing up in high school, you spent a bunch of time with Terry Brands at one point in your life, and then went to college up in Wyoming. Are there going to be some people down here celebrating this with you, because of your recognition with the Hall of Fame, or people that you'd like to thank for at least part of your wrestling journey?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is my wife and kids. They're with me, yep. And grateful to have them with me. And my mom came down, my brother. I don't know that Terry will make it. He's a pretty busy man, and I don't blame him one. I don't hold it against him. He's got a lot going on. I think Mark Branch is coming down. He's a good friend, a good coach. Bill Zadek. A lot of good friends. Yes, I could spend all day thanking people probably.
So professionally, you're still keeping busy outside of just, you're doing some farming, you're doing some work in engineering, or what kind of things do you do outside of, family?
Well, aside from the club, I do ranching. We ranch, the family and I, and then I work at an engineering firm where mostly I survey.
Okay.
Do some sandblasting, and whenever I get a chance, I try to sit down and write songs. But it's not too often these days. So.
Well, yeah, no, that's actually something you picked up later in life, right?
Yeah, you know, I started when I was in junior high, but when you're training like you do, it gets put on the back burner, and
Sure.
so I try to just keep doing it. It makes me feel good.
So, you know, if anyone asks you, like, you know, what are your thoughts when people want to recognize you for, you know, going through some tough things? What do you say to that? I mean, you're a very humble man, and you know, I'm sure that it's something that you're going to be talking about this weekend.
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I think that for them to think of me as it's very humbling. I feel very humble,
Yeah.
really, I do. And it also reminds me of a lot of the people that have been through things like this, and
Mm-hmm.
whether it be in the military or a car accident or whether it may be. I think I like to hear their stories too. You know, it just makes me think of a lot of other people. So.
Well, we'd like to congratulate you on this, and you know, obviously, there's going to be a lot of other great wrestling people around. I mean, the people getting inducted. I know. I mean, you were competing when Henry was wrestling, right?
Yeah.
At some point, you guys would work out some. I mean.
Yeah, we were both at the OTC at the same time, so.
Yeah, no, so it's obviously going to be a nice group of people here to help be part of this experience with you, and I appreciate your time, Michael.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, man.